Hey guys, Pater Franson here. Wanted to give you a rundown on what you can expect from my big 24-hour video game live stream marathon starting tomorrow, Saturday, November 15th at 6 a.m. Arizona time. Arizona's a little funny. I would just suggest searching Arizona time right now in your browser and do your comparison that way to figure things out. So it's all going to start at 6. Every time I list is going to be Arizona time. 6 a.m. to 8:50 is kind of a family-friendly-ish block of games. Rated T or lower is what I mean by that. So that's going to include possibilities like Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest 1 HD 2D Remake, maybe some Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, maybe some Monster Hunter Wilds, but I'm really feeling Dragon Questy right now. And then at 9 a.m. Arizona time, that's the part that many people love most. That's when I'm going to be doing my stunts, songs, and games, and also talking about topics, all in response to donations from people toward the Game Save event this year. So this year, I'm going to be singing I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred, Golden, the hit song from K-pop Demon Hunters, and specifically requested in the same key that it's sung in the movie. And then I'm going to wrap up with my rendition of Celine Dion's rendition of All By Myself. I will be putting on the Frozen socks and Frozen t-shirt at the same time, or really consecutively. I am going to shoot water up my nose with the turkey baster. I'm going to put peanut butter and jelly all over my face and talk about, well, usually it's horror movies, a little different spin this year. I thought I would talk about the 3 movies that I find most unsettling, most disturbing, that mess with my head and my heart the most compared to any other movies I've ever seen, and they are not horror movies. So I'll be talking about that while I put peanut butter and jelly on my face. Then the 3 games I'm going to play because of requests from donors include Chrono Trigger, Borderlands 3, and the classic Atari 2600 game Pole Position. In terms of topics, I'm going to answer the question, did I watch the old G.I. Joe and or Transformers cartoons as a kid, and maybe talk about my memories of them, how awesome they were, or maybe not awesome looking back. I did watch some of both of those shows, one definitely more than the other, and so I'll share some thoughts on that. Also the question, should DC give up on making movies, and should Marvel give up on making TV series, given that both seem to be a struggle for them? And then also, I'm bringing back the Plus X page, I'm calling it this year, of many topics. I haven't used this in a few marathons, but this year I think I'm going to end up playing some games that don't require me to be like really locked in terms of my attention. And so I'll have a mind that's probably more free to just talk about whatever, which means if you want to jump in the chat and bring up a topic with me, I'm very likely to just engage with it and be able to keep up with the chat maybe a little better this year. We'll see. This might work against me. If these games are too simplistic mentally, that might really hurt me later in the marathon trying to stay awake. But I've assembled what is kind of my pick of the best questions from previous marathons that were part of this plus blank page of many topics. And I'm going to, throughout the marathon, I'm planning on, as I want to fill some space in terms of like just what I'm talking about, to draw from those questions and talk about how my answers might be different today. Because as I look through them, I'm like, oh, I've got some updates on this. Oh, I see this differently, or I have something different to say today. So I think there'll be a lot of opportunities for me to just blab on stuff throughout the marathon. So then at the end of the morning at 11:30 until noon, I'm going to be joined by my younger son, Titus, and he's going to be playing No Man's Sky with me. And then at noon, I'll have my lunch break. At each of the meal breaks, and then also at midnight, I'm going to be restarting the stream. YouTube does this thing where if your stream is too long, it doesn't give you access to the full archive of it. So I want YouTube as a backup copy. So at each of my meal breaks, before I start the compilation video, I'm planning to reset the stream. So yeah, just be aware of that if you join the stream late, that if you go to one of the earlier streams that's been posted, the embeds or whatever, you might think the stream's over. It's not. It's It's going 24 hours. Just go to the most recent live thing happening at the Christian Geek Central YouTube channel. So anyway, my lunch will be 30 minutes, noon to 12:30, about. All these times are approximate. Things can change, and I got to roll with it. And then throughout the afternoon, I'm going to play whatever I want. About 5:30 to 6 is when my wife Holly will be joining me, and we're going to play some more of It Takes Two. Then at 6 to 6:30, I'm going to have my dinner break, again, resetting the stream at that point. I'll be back for a little bit by myself, but then around 7 p.m., for, I'm guessing, at least a couple hours, my younger sister Corinne is going to be here with me, fantasy and sci-fi author and the creator of the Finding Fantasy Reads podcast, which I co-narrate with her. So anyway, she's always a good time to have around, and you guys can ask her about dirty laundry, I guess, or questions or embarrassing questions about me, or just talk to her because she's very interesting in her own right, especially if you have any interest in kind of writing Christian sci-fi or fantasy. I'm sure you'd have some things you could bring up with her. Let's see here. So then around midnight, I don't think I'm going to take a full-on break, but I think I'll probably restart the stream at that point. So not like a 30-minute break, but probably a little bit longer break than normal. And then, man, from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., if you are in the right time zone to be able to tune in for this part, this is, for other people, their favorite part of the marathon, because I start to lose my mind to some extent. Greater or lesser extents based on a number of factors, but things are always getting a little bit weird, and sometimes a lot weird in these last 3 hours of the marathon, especially when you get to the last 2 hours. It's like, oh my gosh. Throughout the marathon, I've got a list of kind of go-to video game titles so these are the ones that you're more likely than others to see me play at some point during the live stream. So I've already mentioned Dragon Quest 1 HD 2D Remake, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Death Stranding. I think I'm definitely going to be playing a good chunk of that. The first one, but then also maybe the second one, Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, Darkest Dungeon maybe, No Man's Sky, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Monster Hunter Rise. Those last three more likely late at night to help me stay awake. There's some spooky, creepy underwater planets I want to explore in No Man's Sky, and going underwater freaks me out. The Outer Worlds 2, Red Dead Redemption 2. I just kind of discovered, oh man, I might really like this game just this week. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is very likely. Sacred 2 just released the remastered version of that this week, so I hope to get into that some during my marathon. And the kind of Skyrim Oblivion-like game, Tainted Grail, which I've been meaning to really get back into full for a while now. So looking forward to all of those games, really. I don't know which ones will take the lion's share or if they'll be evenly distributed. No idea. We'll find out together. I would appreciate your prayers between now and just any time throughout my marathon. I'm not concerned so much about getting through it. I think history has shown me I'm very likely to get through it, but I want to do more than that. I want to be a gracious host. I want to have patience with the unexpected happening or unexpected comments and stuff. I want to have a sharp mind for interaction. Some key interactions have happened during this marathon over the years, I think, even though it's mostly about just having fun and goofing around. And sometimes I'm distracted enough with video games, I can't get into all the deep, heavy topics, but there's been some that have been in the sweet spot that I think have been some, for people, valuable interactions, important to them in some way. And I want to just be dependent on God's grace. I want to have wisdom in the moments for those kinds of important interactions, to know what to say or what not to say, you know. So I would appreciate your prayers. Follow the link below this video if you want to last year's What to Expect video. If you want to get an idea of my setup and the snacks that I'm going to have and what view I will be having for 24 hours, as well as the first part of a compilation series highlighting 10 years of 24-hour marathons and just the craziness involved in that. I will be showing the other two parts of that compilation series during my meal breaks throughout the marathon, which starts at 6 a.m. Arizona time tomorrow, November 15th. All right, so now it's time for me to finish up my work, try and rest for most of today, and get to sleep early and deeply if I can. Bye for now. Thanks.